Welcome back to the Creative Vibe Studios. My name is Bridget Rooks. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the perfect place if you are an aspiring entrepreneur. Maybe you're looking to start a side hustle and you don't know where to start. You've got this big idea and you just want to get things going. You're in the right place. Here we support entrepreneurs who are looking to just be more and do more with their life and celebrate their gifts by sharing with the world. So, you probably have something that you're really talented at, something that you love to do, and now it's time to start thinking about how to make money doing it. So if that sounds like you, keep listening because you are in the right place here in the Creative Vibe Studios with me, your host, Bridget Rooks. So today we're going to talk about how to get creative with this content, right? So it's so overwhelming to think about how many times you have to post a day and how are you going to have time to create and write and design and do all the things when you're just one me, right? One me. I always say I wish I had 20 me's because I could get some shit done, right? It would not take any time because I know who needs to do what, I know when it needs to be done, and I know how to do it. Sometimes it can be overwhelming trying to do all the things all the time, all by yourself. So if that sounds like you, keep listening because I've got a great hack for how to create a blog post every week and use that for a week's worth of content, right? You have probably heard this before, and there's plenty of people who are telling you how to do this, and maybe this is new to you. So if this is a new concept to you, this is how you're going to get it done. And I just want you to keep it simple. One of the things that I used to really struggle with was how to create this content every single day. And the problem with doing it haphazardly is that then your content is haphazard, right? You don't have a structure, the messaging is all over the place, and there's not a clear destination for where you want your clients or potential clients to go. So with this, we're going to take it really simple and break it down into bite-sized pieces that you can put into your everyday schedule, because if you're like everyday people, you might still work 9 to 5. You might be working from home with your kids and all that good stuff, but you still have another priority outside of creating your business or starting a side hustle or just doing something that you love to do, right? So you have to make time to be creative. And this is what we're going to do today as we talk about how to get this done. So come with me into the studio. I'm going to jump over into my lab so that we can work on this outline together. Okay, I'm in the studio now, so let's walk through the simple steps for creating a week's worth of social media content with one blog post, okay? So I know you may be thinking that, oh my goodness, nobody writes blog posts anymore, and how do I do this, and why do I need to do it? You don't necessarily need to write a blog to communicate with your audience, but it's good practice to start getting content out there. There's a couple of things that you might not know as to how important it is to have content-driven information on your website, such as a blog post, because it helps with search engine optimization, SEO. We're not going to get into all that right now, but you kind of do double duty when you have items on your social media platforms as well as on your website that will help connect the dots when people are looking to contact you and connect with you. And it just kind of helps to repurpose all your content from week to week, okay? So let's just dig into how to create a blog post, right? Just in case you haven't done this, we're gonna keep it really low-key basic here and really walk through each of the steps. So creating a weekly blog post really is just about communicating with your ideal client, right? Letting them know how you can help them, sharing tips and tools, great inspiration, all the things. But all you have to do is start, right? So spend some time looking at your calendar so you know you can block out 2 hours to write, and then maybe an hour to design, and then another 30 minutes or an hour to schedule and write your captions. So there's 3 steps to this process, but it's really simple. So don't get overwhelmed and start overthinking already, right? I know I talk fast and I know it seems like a lot of work. It is work, it is required, and you will find it easier after you create a routine, right? So here in the Creative Vibe Studios, we're always talking about the importance of making it a habit or a routine and not just being on the journey, right? Creating a lifestyle out of all the things that you need to do in order to run your business successfully so your business is not running you. So let's get started. Writing your content for your weekly blog post. Stay on brand. Number one, stay on brand. Always be talking to your ideal client about your products, right? Don't go off on a rant about something that's not particularly related to your business and your products. Just don't do that. Be consistent. Be consistent when you're posting. Be consistent in your tone. Be consistent in your presence online, right? So when people see your post or they see you in person or they watch a video, they will be able to connect with you because they consistently see you pop up on their news feed, or you're in an email, sending them an email blast, or they're reading your blog post. So be consistent. The third thing you want to do is be informative, right? So don't waste people's time. Have a blog post, be intentional about what it is you want to relay to them, and then also be very intentional about what it is that you want them to do. This is really a big point. I want to stop right here before we move on, because the call to action is very imperative for each time you post, right? And don't think of it as like, oh, I have to be selling something. You don't always have to be selling something, but you do want to grab their attention and give them a call to action to do something, even if it's simple as reply to this email and let me know what your thoughts are, or ask them for their feedback, or hey, I would love if you would like, share, and subscribe. Like, there's all kinds of really good ways to build trust and build your community through your blog post by asking them to do something, right? And if you do have a great product or a freebie or something that you want to include in that, this is the perfect place for that too. And on your social media. So you're hitting them in two different places. So let's get started. The last thing you need to do is have fun, right? This should not be overwhelming or something that you don't want to do. And if you do feel that way, then I suggest you stop right now and go a different direction, because this may not work for you. This should be fun. You should want to share your insight. You should want to inspire. You should want to help and serve your ideal client. And this is a platform and a process that will allow you to do so. So take your time, enjoy it, put it on your calendar, and make this a part of your weekly process and structure for communicating on social media. Okay. So here's the next one. This is something that I use to kind of get my creative vibes flowing, get my ideas going in my head so that I know what I want to write about, so that it's not so stagnant and that I can switch it up every week, right? So here's 6 different things that I usually think about when I get ready to write my blog post, right? So you can talk to your ideal client about the myths behind your industry. We all have a specific niche and a specific industry that we represent. So think about that ideal client that is looking for help from you. What myths do they believe? What are they not overcoming in order to hire you or buy your products or use your services? So think about how you can talk about the problem that they're having and then nail it down through the myths, because clearly it's not a myth. You're doing it. You can help them. And here's how you can help, right? A lot of these topics will kind of come back in the same format. So you'll see the pattern here. Also, you can talk about mistakes. This is when you can get personal and talk to them about things that you've personally done, things that you've overcome, and the mistakes that you've already made so they don't have to, right? So think about 3 things, or if you're doing these 4 things, don't do that. How are these mistakes that you've made how are you able to incorporate it into your blog post, right? That way you're informing and you're training and you're coaching and you're giving a low level view of the things that you can offer and help them if they did purchase your course or hire you as their coach or purchase your book. What are they going to get from it? So the mistakes that you made that you're teaching or learning or sharing in your products and services, you can use that as a topic for your blog post. You can also use limiting beliefs and put that into a really good picture for someone who needs your service, because whatever is stopping them from hiring you or purchasing from you is a limiting belief, because they either think they need more money or the time is not right, or all of these different limiting beliefs. So you can use that as a way in to talk to them about your actual blog post topic, okay? So that you can get them locked in and then you can give them the call to action. Also, always be inspiration.
I'll always be inspirational, right? You want to make sure that you are able to empower someone or make them feel good or motivate them through your storytelling. Tell them how you've grown or things that you've learned or what you can do if you do X, Y, and Z, right? The time to inspire during your blog post is a very short second because people are going to read your blog post for 5 minutes, right? And then if they see it broken up onto your social media, like we're going to talk about, it gives them a chance to kind of see it in a different perspective because sometimes when we're reading, if you're like me, you might skim over some of the parts. But if you pull out good parts for your social media highlights, you'll be able to drag them back in and draw them into your actual blog so that they can get the call to action, so that they can get the free offer that you have, or they can just get to know you better. Okay. Also, social proof is huge. So, in your blog post, you can talk about your clients, you can talk about your experience, you can share the results that people have. Give them a name, give them a time, share the story. And that way, people who are in that same position, struggling from that problem that your clients have overcome, they will resonate and you will have a story to tell, which kind of makes it really easy for you to write a blog post because you're sharing a story. And that's fun, right? Then the last thing, you are a business. So don't forget about your company and objectives that you have for your brand. Be consistent with that so that if you are talking about your business and your brand objectives, you can nail that down right from the top to the bottom because you're going to really be coaching and training them or talking about the benefits of your business and how important it is to utilize it. So those are just 6 ways that you can kind of mix up your content. So every single week, it's not the exact same perspective. They may get used to your voice and your tone and the way that you write, but at least each week they'll be going away with something a little bit different, right? So keep that in mind when you're writing your blog posts. Now, I do want to say this, you don't have to use all 6. So if you're writing, you can pick 1 or 3 of these components that kind of go hand in hand. One thing that I like to do is I pick a topic and then I kind of go through all 6 of these because I want to create content for the whole week. 7 days in a week, 6 topics. I can break that down and throw a video in there. Boom, I got content for the week. But if you're doing this and you're just starting, let's just shoot for 3 posts, right? 1 blog post, 3 social media posts. Super easy, super simple. Even if you pick 1 of these, all you have to do is incorporate the next 3 things in this 1 topic, and you will be able to break your blog post down for social media posting, okay? Here's what you need to do. Write your blog post directly to your ideal client. I'm not going to have enough breath in me to say this over and over again, but this is what I want you to know. This blog is for your client, your potential ideal client. Talk to them. They don't want to know about your problems. You want to talk to them about their problems. So make sure that you don't mix up the two, because sometimes it can be super easy to say all the feels that you're having and all the emotions that you're dealing with in your business and put that into a blog post or social media post, and it gets confusing for the reader. So I'm guilty of it. I've done it in the past. And as soon as I change this way, it makes it easier for me to connect and help the people who have the problem that I can solve. So be really clear that you are talking to your ideal client. Then I want you to make sure that you clarify the problem, right? So if you're picking a myth or you're picking a limiting belief or you just want to share some inspiration, make sure you're talking about the problem first, the problem that they have with that myth, with the limiting belief, or with that social media proof that you want to share, right? So be clear and then drill down those pain points. We're still talking about the pain that they have, the problems that they have, the struggles that they're going through. It may sound dark and dreary, but it's really not. So it's basically just painting a picture of what they're already experiencing so that they will come back to learn more from you, to buy your products, to trust you, to know that, hey, you know what? She knows what she's talking about, because last time I did this 3-step process she shared for updating my LinkedIn profile and it worked. So be clear that when you're sharing their problems and struggles, it's not always a negative. It's really just changing it into, hey, these things you're doing are wrong. And if you change these couple of things or tweak a little bit over here, you will be in better position. So think about it like that. And then last, make sure you wrap it up by being the solution, right? You don't always have to be super salesy or gung-ho about buy my products, get this now. You don't have to do that, because for me, that's so uncomfortable. And I don't like when I'm reading something and I feel like they're trying to sell me at the end, and I already know I probably can't afford it. So let me just stop reading here. But make sure that you're guiding them through your blog post so that when you do get to the end, you can ask for a small ask. Follow me on my Facebook for more updates or more inspiration or more things or anything that you'd like to know about how to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, so here's how you can turn that blog post into 3 simple social media posts. As you can see, I just pulled some sample images here that I would use for my social media to portray exactly how you can do this. So this is just a picture, a selfie picture of me in my office that I could use if my blog post was like, how do you stop struggling and get organized to create great content for your website or for your social media accounts. I could use this picture. And then this second picture is a quote. So maybe in my blog post, I say, stop struggling and get organized because it helps you run your business successfully. Then I could pull that quote out and put it on this blog post for my social media. And then this is a video. So video is really a big deal right now. And I know that it seems scary and you may or may not want to do that or feel comfortable to do so, but I want you to start doing it a little bit more. And I'll get into that a little bit as we go through this. Okay, let's talk about the lifestyle post. So the topic of your blog post, the title of your blog post, you can search on Unsplash, Pixabay. There's tons of free resources for free stock photos that you can use if you don't need to use a selfie or a picture of your own environment because your story or your blog post is not about you. So you can go on and grab an image like this that relates to your post and use that for your social media. Now, when you do that, you don't have to do anything else. If it's just an image, you're going to find a really eye-catching image that ties into your actual blog post so that when people click it and read the caption, they want more, okay? So make sure you're using that for your lifestyle post. Next, you want to create a quote. Like I showed that one image, but here's a couple that I've used before too. So I've pulled out this one quote and then even a definition of a word that's used or a topic that I've talked about within my blog post. So you can pull pieces out of your blog and then just create the content in the design format so that you can use it on social media. Last, everybody's on TikTok. Listen, I took forever. I just got on TikTok in 2021, right? I was like, I am not doing TikTok, but it's a great way to use video to capture your voice and to coach and train. But the hard part is you get 30 seconds or 60 seconds. So it takes a little practice, but it's doable. People are out there getting great visibility from their videos because we live in a world that's Insta everything. They want you want to get on a video. People don't want to read. They don't have time to click and swipe. They want to watch a video probably for 10 seconds and keep it moving. So take your time when you're thinking about creating a video that ties into your blog post. It could be just as easy as sharing the screen where your blog post is open, and I've done this too, and just say, hey guys, do a voiceover. You don't have to have the camera on you all the time. And voiceover, check out my new blog post. It's about X, Y, and Z. You're gonna find great value because blah, blah, blah. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, no big deal. Post it to your social media and you've got a week's worth of content. So that's 3 posts, 1 blog post, and you're good to go. Now I want to show you, this is my process because I have my blog post on my website, then I create the content that goes with it, then I schedule it for going out onto social media. Now, you may not have a website. You may just use LinkedIn articles. You may have a landing page, or you may just send out a weekly email through MailChimp or through your Gmail account. That's okay. It doesn't have to be so professional and so over the top. The point is just doing it and just talking to your client and letting them know that you can help, right? That's the biggest step that I want you guys to take when trying to create content and be consistent and learn and practice how to speak directly to your ideal client. Okay. So I'm going to jump out of the studio and go back onto the resources that I use so I can share that with you right now. Okay, we're back. So I use Canva to design. As a designer for so many years, I never wanted to touch it, but Canva has really stepped their game up and it makes social media posting and designing so much easier. Let me tell you, all you have to do is find a template that matches your colors. And even if it doesn't, you can adjust it and go to work. So I'm going to share. These are the 3 posts that I just designed for my blog post or article that's going out in a couple of weeks. So what I've done is I've picked a template that works with my brand. Now, this particular article is going to go on my magazine, my digital magazine, Creative Culture. So I have this going on medium.com. So it's a platform that I can use outside of my website to share inspiration, blog posts, articles, and get in front of my ideal client faster, right? This is a place where people go to read and learn. So why not put your articles there? So bear with me. In Canva, pick a template. There's tons of templates. They set it up for everything. You can pick one, play around on here. If you haven't already figured out all the things, I suggest you just take time. Go on YouTube. There's a billion tutorials of how to do stuff. And Canva has its own YouTube channel that will help you do that. I use YouTube all the time to figure out stuff I don't know how to do. It's quick, it's easy, and you can make it work so you don't have to feel helpless. There's tons of help out there for you to do some of these really easy, simple tasks. You just have to put in the work to learn how to do it. So I've created, here is a quote. And here is kind of a lifestyle picture because it's got an image, but I've mixed it up because I've done a little bit of both, right? So I've got text and I have an image. And then this one is just a quote. And then this is just extra stuff because I've been using this template. So I download those 3 items and then I uploaded my blog post to Medium. That's an article. They call it stories on Medium. So I uploaded my story. I created a banner for my blog or for my post. Added my text. As you can see, I've written, this is probably a 5-minute read, right? So it's a little bit longer than 3 posts, but it's super easy for you to put your information on here, create an image that goes with your blog, to break it up a little bit. As you can see, I still have my points. Here's 3 points. First you do this, second you do that. Now X, Y, and Z. So all of my blog images are here. I created them in Canva, then I've added them to my Medium account, and now I can plan to post them on Instagram. So I use Planoly for posting to Instagram because I feel that my ideal client is searching and is spending a lot of time on Instagram more so than Facebook. My next platform is probably LinkedIn that I use, but I use a different social media scheduling tool for LinkedIn, and I can talk to you about that on another video. So what I've done is I've just dragged and dropped my 3 images that I downloaded from Canva. I click on it, I can add my caption, and I don't have to recreate the wheel. I've already written this, right? So here are the 3 things. I don't want to dump all of this content in my social media post because I want them to go read it, right? So you want to train your viewers and readers and followers to click a button, take action, and go read more, go learn more. So if I know, hey, 3 hacks for getting your ideal client's attention, here's 1, 2, 3, make sure you check out this week's article, click the link in my bio, right? The cool thing about using a social media scheduling tool is that you can save all your hashtags. You don't have to keep recreating the wheel on that, and you can add them at your leisure, okay? So I can also schedule this to go whenever I'm ready. So this is done for next week. I'm already ahead of the game. I don't have to stress and worry. I can schedule this and be done. And then next week, I'm not focusing on social media, spending time online. I'm focusing on helping clients, creating more content, and moving the needle forward. So this is what it looks like when you put it all out there. So this is, I have scheduled those posts and they're not going out yet, but this is my Instagram And when you do this in advance, you can plan out exactly what format and how you want things to flow, so things are appealing when people come to your actual Instagram page. Now, of course, I'm on a desktop, so this is a big format. If you're on your phone, it looks a little bit different, but you still want it to be appealing when people look at your actual profile page, right? And we've talked about how to incorporate the link in your bio so that every time you post, your call to action is going to be click the link in my bio to read this week's article, right? So if this post is live, then my call to action is click the link in my bio. I click this. This is Linktree. I've shared this with you guys before. It's a great tool for just adding all the links that you need. So when you are talking about different topics and different things and all the call to actions that you want your future client and ideal client to do, it's right here, right? So I've got listen to my podcast, grow your steps. Here's a freebie. Grab this 7-step formula. Read my new book. It's on Amazon. Learn. Here's a free course. Like, there's so many different things that you can get people to do as you ask them, hey, click the link in my bio to grab your freebie. Click the link in my bio to read this week's article. Check out my podcast for this week. Click the link. Like, it saves so much time, right? And people actually do. And the best way for you to find out what people are doing, I don't know that I can show that to you on here, but you can check your, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can do it on my desktop, but you guys know how to check your insights to see what's happening so that you can see all the things that are going on when you are on your phone, right? So I don't know that I'm still trying to see if I can look on here, but it's a great tool. It's a great way to look and see, hey, did anybody comment? Did anybody actually go to my profile? Because you know when people are on your Instagram, they're looking on their feed, right? They're just swiping and scrolling. But if they click your post, swipe to read more, and it says, hey, click the link in my bio, guess what? They have to go to your actual profile page. So when they come here, you want to make sure everything is in order and that your links are not just one random link that doesn't work that, oh, you forgot to change. Don't do that. Be consistent, be prepared. So when you're working on your content week to week, you can get the information out in front of the people so that they can connect with you long term. Okay, so that is the wrap up for this week's training. I hope that you found great value, that you can create a really simple blog post that speaks directly to your ideal client, and then break that blog post down into 3 social media posts. It sounds like a lot. It may be overwhelming, but if you put time on your calendar, on your schedule, for a Saturday afternoon, a Sunday morning, a Thursday night, grab a glass of wine, and just start working through this, it will become part of your everyday routine so that you're taking time out to be consistent and being disciplined to send out this message to your clients so that you can get and connect with them on a weekly basis. So hopefully you found value in